What's good, y'all? It's your boy J Strike 3000. We're here. We're here. This is the official leak of the roster for the next Super Smash Bros. Game. I have it. Me. You've come to the right channel. Masahiro Sakurai came to me and said, hey, look, J Strike, you're my guy, you're my GOAT. So I'm gonna give you the roster details. And I was like, thanks, Masahiro. Oh, thanks, Mr. Sakurai. And then I came to this channel and I decided to leak everything he said. I decided to betray his trust for content. He'll never trust me again. I'll never work again in this industry. But I did this for you. He also said you should tell your viewers to hit the subscribe button. That's what his words, not mine. I think we better do what he says. So for the sake of content, I put together this incredible graphic. Here it is. Behold. Look at the selection screen that I put together. I mean, the official selection screen for the next Smash game. That's totally not made up by me, and I didn't just put together in like an hour or two. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You're probably counting the squares, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. These are less characters than Smash Ultimate. You're telling me the next Smash game has less characters? Yes, I'm telling you. I think Smash Ultimate was like a big celebration of gaming as a whole, but the next Smash game is really gonna dial it back and focus on something new, bringing something new to the table. Focus on reinventing each character instead of just giving us everything they have. Instead of giving us 50 billion characters, actually. I will say, I also think that this next Smash game is gonna have more DLC. How much DLC? I don't know. They could just keep putting out characters, but I do think the DLC will increase for the next Smash game, but the initial starting roster is going to be lower, is what I think. But for now, let's just see who's on it. Who's going to be on the starting roster for the next Smash game. So starting off, of course, we got the original 8. All right, it's Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, Yoshi, Kirby, Fox, Pikachu. I don't think they're ever going anywhere, ever. I think they're going to be in every Smash game, regardless of how relevant their series are. I'm looking at you, Fox. What are you doing? What are you doing in life? Yeah! I think these 8 are safe forever. But I do think they also get updated movesets. Maybe give Mario a triple jump. I know you're really gonna have to rework the moveset if you want to give Mario a triple jump. I know. We don't want to die. Maybe give him a different, that ground pound. I'm very surprised Mario doesn't have his ground pound as a down beat. And I feel like the ground pound is more signature to Mario than Flood is at this point. Let's update the moveset. Give Donkey Kong a goddamn barrel or something. Link, I want an incredibly different Link. I don't know what Zelda game is gonna be out at the time. I want Link's moveset to be crazy. I want Link's moveset to be crazy different, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Hold on, hear me out. Now, next up, of course, I'm also going to include Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff. I think they're also safe as well. I think everybody from 64 is going to be in. If I had to guess, though, if I did have to kick somebody off, maybe Captain Falcon. Some of the characters are only alive right now due to Smash might get kicked off. But if it were up to me, I'd keep Captain Falcon. Maybe even Jigglypuff. Maybe even Ness. When was the last time anything Earthbound related came out? I think Ness and Captain Falcon are only alive right now due to Smash. Maybe that's why Mr. Sakurai keeps including these games in Smash, because he wants to keep these games alive. He wants to keep these franchises alive. I see through your plan. Up next, we got the usual suspects. I think Peach is in, Bowser's in, Zelda's in, Falco's in. You may have already seen who's missing. Brawl had this mechanic where Zelda could turn into Sheik by pressing down B. A whole new character. It's 2 characters on one, like a Pyramithra. I missed that. I want to go back to that. That's so cool. That's very cool to me. I want my Zelda Sheik combo back. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and give some spoilers. Zero Suit Samus is not on the roster, but I want Samus to turn into Zero Suit Samus the same way Zelda turned into Sheik. It's a cool mechanic. I want to see it again. If you're playing as Samus, you can actually turn into Zero Suit Samus and drop your armor and it'll act like items that you can throw around. That's so cool. Why don't we do that anymore? For the rest of this little section here, we got Marth, Young Link, Ganondorf, and Mewtwo. All right, so young Link, right? This is why I want Link to have such a crazy ass moveset, is because there's also a different Link that's a more traditional Link with the normal moveset. You know, he has the bows and the hook and the bomb and the So I want 2 Links in the game, but I want one to be crazy different and dependent on whatever Zelda game is out at the moment. And then there's young Link, who has the more traditional Link moves. For the next row, we got Mr. Game & Watch, Wario, Meta Knight, Snake, Pokemon Trainer. Mr. Game & Watch is a good representation of like old school gaming, like really old, like old. And I feel like he's so unique. I don't know what character could replace him for real. You know what I'm saying? Snake.
Kept you waiting.
Gaming icon. Snake is a gaming icon. I don't know if he's coming back though. I want him back. I don't know if he's coming back. So far, of all the characters I've revealed, Snake is like the least likely to come back that I put on this board. If anybody's getting cut, it's Snake, but I'm very hopeful. That's why I left him on. And then Pokemon Trainer. I think, you know, probably the most popular starter Pokemon of all time. Have them all 3 as one character. I think that's a cool concept. I don't know if they want to do like a different region. That would be crazy. I don't know who's the second most popular starter region, or even if it's just going to be whatever current gen is out at the time that Smash 6 comes out, whatever current Pokemon generation is out. Let me know in the comments. If it wasn't Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard, what 3 starter Pokemon would be the new Pokemon Trainer? Y'all let me know. We got Sonic, Diddy Kong, Olimar, Rob, and Villager. I feel like I don't know if Rob comes back. Rob has always been such a strange choice to put in his roster. I mean, I guess Rob is a good representation of all that Nintendo is outside of just gaming, like toys too. But now it's like, do people think about Rob anymore? Do people even think about what Rob comes from? Do people know who he is? I hardly do. Do we want to remember Rob? I'm being so harsh. I'm being so tough on the boy. But yeah, I think everybody else on that list has a good chance of coming back, you know. But you gonna make a new Smash Brothers game and not include Sonic? You're not gonna include Sonic the Hedgehog? Unbelievable. Okay, next up we got Mega Man, Pac-Man, Bowser Jr., Ryu, Cloud. The boys are back in town. I think Mega Man and Pac-Man definitely should stay. They're gaming icons. I want Ryu to stay. I'm a Street Fighter guy. I don't know if you've seen my content. I'm a Street Fighter guy. Let's keep Ryu. Do we keep Cloud, or do we get like another Final Fantasy character rep? Whoever that may be. I think we stick with Cloud because Final Fantasy 7 is clearly the one. The real question is, do we keep Bowser Jr.? Yeah. If Bowser Jr. comes back, I do want him kind of totally different. I want a different everybody, but if Bowser Jr. does make it back, I definitely want him different. Next up, we got Inkling, another Fire Emblem character, whichever one that may be, Banjo-Kazooie, Steve, Minecraft Steve is here, and Kazuya Mishima is here. Now let's talk. All right, the Fire Emblem character, whichever one of the more different ones. Different as in not another Marth. I'm thinking more like an Ike or a Robin or a Byleth or a Corrin. Whichever one of those games was the most popular, put them in the game. Banjo-Kazooie is one of the most asked for characters for Smash Ultimate, Smash Forward, Smash Brawl. Put him in. Even though he was not great competitively, I want Banjo to make a return. Now, you may have already clicked off the video when I said Steve. Listen, Minecraft. Minecraft is so large, so big. It's Minecraft. I'm surprised Steve took this long to get into Smash. Let's tone him down a little. All right? I think he'd be fine. Just tone it down a little. All right? All right, Sakurai, you still listening? You watching? And then Kazuya. I love Tekken. But also, I think more importantly, this collaboration between Nintendo and Bandai Namco for Smash Brothers games does mean a little something. I'm not saying they completely abuse their influence and just put in like 10 characters, 10 Bandai Namco characters, but if I had to pick two, it'd be Pac-Man and Kazuya. All right, next up, there's only 2 returning characters left, and then the rest are all new characters. So who we got? We got Sora. If Nintendo can afford Sora, I think Sora's coming back. If Nintendo can afford it. And then the Mii's. I think the Mii's come back. But I do think Nintendo is slowly kind of easing out of Mii usage. I don't know if the next Switch or whatever Nintendo console is gonna have the option to even make Mii's, or if they're still doing that or whatever they're doing. Sometimes I'll be forgetting that the Switch even has the option to create Mii's, low key. And now let's go on to the new characters. So we got whoever the newest Pokemon character is, whoever's the new popular Pokemon from the current gen of whenever this game comes out. I want Dante in from Devil May Cry. There's probably gonna be a new Fire Emblem character. And then Crash Bandicoot. A new Pokemon is always a given. I feel like every Smash game has a new Pokemon in the base roster. Dante from Devil May Cry. Look, there was one point where the entire world thought that Dante was about to get revealed, and it was somebody else. The Dante leaks were real. The Dante hype was real, and then it didn't happen. I think he has a crazy moveset potential, and he has an audience. Devil May Cry has an audience, has a fan base, a big fan base. Put him in the game. As far as a new Fire Emblem character, there's gonna be at least 3. I feel like 3 is a good number for Fire Emblem characters. You get Marth, you get one of the weirdo Fire Emblem characters that has like a crazy moveset, a crazy different moveset, and then you get whoever the newest Fire Emblem character, or whatever, if there's a new one coming out. If there's not, then throw in one of the previous ones. And then Crash Bandicoot. I'm very surprised that Crash isn't in this game. He might not have the craziest like moveset potential, but it's Crash. That's my goat. That's not my goat. But he deserves it. And then for my final 4 characters, I mean Masahiro Sakurai's final 4 characters, we have a Monster Hunter. We got Shadow the Hedgehog. We have Kratos. We have Master Chief. Big picks, all right? A Monster Hunter character isn't as surprising as you may think, especially when Rathalos made it into the game, into Smash Ultimate. I thought Monster Hunter was going to be DLC. I was so sure, and I was wrong. If you could do Byleth in Smash Ultimate, I think you can easily do a Monster Hunter character. Shadow the Hedgehog. Look, I'm surprised that Sonic is the only Sonic character in this game. He may look the most like Sonic, but I think he fights the least like Sonic out of Tails, Knuckles, maybe Eggman. I don't want to see Eggman in this game though. I just don't want to see Eggman. I don't want to look at Eggman. And then between Tails and Knuckles and Shadow, I think Shadow's the coolest. And then Kratos and Master Chief. I'm gonna keep it hot with you. I think these 2 are the biggest mascots from PlayStation and Xbox. The 2 biggest gaming icons aren't in Smash yet, I believe. Because really, who's bigger than Kratos and Master Chief that isn't in Smash right now? I don't know. Imagine the reveal trailers for these. It'd be crazy. I can't think of anyone bigger than that. And there you have it. The full starting roster for the next Smash game. It's here. Again, this is 100% legit. It's not made up. I didn't just make it up. Sakurai told me himself. My uncle works at Nintendo, and Sakurai told me himself. So don't argue with me. Don't dislike the video. I'm just telling you, I'm bringing you the news. I'm just a messenger. If you don't like the roster, you should be thankful for me, because I told you what it was gonna be. So I'm just doing you a service, actually. Think about that. So there you have it. The complete starting roster for the next Smash game. The Nintendo ninjas will be knocking at my door at any minute. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, do all that stuff that YouTubers tell you to do at the end of their videos. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification. I don't know what all that stuff. All that junk that you know, the stuff that YouTubers say at the end of their videos. Just do that. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Also, more inside information. Sakurai said this game isn't coming out till 2035, so don't hold your breath.